This is the get it off your chest thing that I want to talk about. I'm like, people have been overdoing this. I honestly think people say it because it's what sells. But really, I believe, are people actually authentic or are they just performing?
I just feel like there's a lot of AI shit in there. You just hear some people doing their scripts and you hear the rhythms of GPT and it's like quite obvious now and it's like, okay, and I just scroll on.
Sorry guys, the only thing I haven't been honest about is it's not about being polished. It's not about being perfect. It's about being, they say that they are, or they're trying to use it as a style, but then it's kind of like when you talk about. We are officially back with Say It With Your Chest. This is a new series we're doing, guys, and it is Get It Off Your Chest. I've got a glass of red wine here. I've also got my beautiful partner, Jordan, here. Where is he? I'm so pumped for this because we've been saying that we're going to be doing this style of series with our episodes, and we know Get It Off Your Chest is a really great starting point of all things we want to express. And why not have a glass of red wine while doing it? Right?
I know.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, all right. So I'm keen to talk about this. I'm going to have a quick sip because I'm not here to get super drunk. But you know the reason why I started this podcast was when I transitioned from Keys to the Queendom into Say It With Your Chest, and a big part of me doing this podcast was because I wanted to be more me. I wanted people to see all parts of me. I wanted people to have the opportunity, the self-expression to get things off their chest, to say it with their chest, to have these big, bold, empowered messages, but also to be authentic. And I have felt recently that are people actually really authentic anymore? You know, this is the big taboo topic right now. I think this is the get it off your chest thing that I want to talk about. I'm like, people have been overdoing this authentic thing because I honestly think people say it because it's what sells. But really, I believe, are people actually authentic or are they just performing? And that's why I'm like, oh, I'm getting so angry about it because you can tell when people are fake.
How do you tell when people are fake though?
Well, personally, maybe this is my projection right now because I am getting it off my chest and I'm getting a bit funny about this. But I started this podcast because I'm a big believer that I want people to know that I love a glass of red wine. I want people to know I'm a leader and that I love doing what I do. But it's the people that say one thing and then don't act it behind closed doors. And there's people online that I've been watching and I'm like, that's not your message. Like I can feel when people are fake simply by how they sound and what they're saying. It has nothing to do with what they're actually trying to get across. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I guess for me, like the authenticity side of things, it's like I just feel like there's a lot of AI shit in there. Like, and everyone probably agrees with me.
What do you mean?
Well, like you can tell really like now. Well, I don't know. It depends on how many hours you've had with AI.
Yeah.
And scripting
You
and all that
haven't
sort of
had
stuff.
much.
I've not had much at all.
Guys, I'm losing my boyfriend to AI. His new girlfriend is AI. I can't even. We're not talking about this right now. We will start fighting.
But yeah, like you just hear some people doing their scripts and you hear the rhythms of GPT and it's like quite obvious now and it's like, okay. And I pick it up now and it's like as soon as I hear it, I just go and I just scroll on.
I get what you're saying. So you're saying if people know what they're talking about, they shouldn't be scripting.
Yeah, that's right.
And so when you see someone talking about, let's say, about their business or something that their strategy, but you can tell that they're reading off stuff, that feels to you inauthentic.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So
yeah.
it's like I catch it out all the time, but that's, you know, because I use AI a lot. But yeah, I feel if you do know what you're talking about, do what we used to do in school. It's like, you know, you write points and then you catch that point and you continue to talk about it.
Yeah. But that's true. That's true authenticity because the whole point of showing up online as yourself is you're not hiding anything.
Yeah.
And if people feel like they need to hide behind teleprompters or they need to hide behind acting a certain way or looking a certain way, like, or using the word of being authentic, and then they're not, like, it's almost like, I mean, Gary Vee's been talking about be real, be raw, you know, do the hard yards, you know,
Yeah,
be
so
authentic.
he's true authentic
He
because
is.
he's been doing it for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
And he's always had that same message. He's always
Exactly.
been, you know, talking about being authentic, being real. Same with Grant Cardone. Yourself, like you've always been out there talking about, you know, using your voice, being authentic. But then you've got these other influencers out there that, you know, have built businesses and, you know, they've obviously turned to start using more AI and all this sort of stuff to do their scripting or, you know, do their videos and stuff like that. And they're realizing now, like, oh, crap, like now people are like, oh, fucking AI slop and, you know, turning their nose up to it because they don't want to be bombarded by AI crap online. They don't want to, you know, get on their Instagram and see all this AI stuff.
What you're trying to say too, though, I think, because I know we're going to be talking a lot more about the AI journey and the world, but it sounds like the more polished or the more perfect you sound is inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was funny because we work with obviously 7X and Tom.
There's Tom and Toby.
It
Either
was
Tom or
It was
Toby.
Tom. It was Tom.
It's Tom.
Was telling me that because their photography and everything is so good, people are always like commenting like, "Oh, this is AI slop."
You're joking.
And it's not. And he actually said we have to now downgrade our
The edits.
quality and edits so that people don't think it's AI.
But isn't that interesting though? Because coming back to, you know, what is true authenticity, and this is kind of like what I really want to like double down on in this, and this is what I want to get off my chest. It's like, how do you really tell who is authentic? You know, and a big thing that I think right now for me, you know, I've been preaching to the cows come home that I was so nervous about people knowing a lot about my life, my past, my upbringing, my father, you know, that I love to have fun. And, you know, I'm not, you know, the most, you know me. I'm
not picture perfect.
I'm not picture perfect. I'm a bit rogue. I'm a bit out there. I can be a little bit F-bomb here, C-bomb there. But when I know what I'm talking about and I'm so good at what I do, when people meet me on stage, the thing that they say to me is like, you're exactly who you are.
Yeah, but shorter.
But shorter. Sorry, guys. The only thing I haven't been honest about is my height. The whole point of why I'm getting frustrated about this is like, this has been my message. My message. Everyone go away. But I do believe people are using it to manipulate the space that we're in right now. But I think it's really interesting how now everyone wants to be authentic. Everyone wants to have, you know, this version of themselves. But this is where I really want to encourage everyone listening to, you know, to really understand the importance of, it's not about being polished. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, raw, and honest. And I've been working with a publicist recently and she's like, I want you to share about your one night stand with Jordan. And I have. And I'm like, sure, it's a story of mine. And then people be like, are people going to want to work with you if you're sharing stuff like that? I'm like, why not? People gravitate to relatability. And I think people think being authentic is still having this facade or having this, let's call it a mask of manipulation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that resonates with you, if you've noticed something in your world when you're online too. Like, do you know the difference between someone who is real or someone who you feel isn't?
I guess what you're trying to say is like, you know, is authentic just, you know, showing up online and, oh, yeah, I'm not wearing makeup anymore. Like, I'm being authentic to myself because I'm, you know, not putting on the face mask. But are you trying to say like, the authenticity is more than just how you show up? It's like, you know, in your daily actions or who you are behind the scenes as well as in front of camera.
I think it's owning who you are unapologetically.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like, I'm a big believer of, I am very big on strategy. I'm very big on telling people that, you know, I love to go out with the girls, have some like glasses of red wines. You're laughing at me. No, I'm a big believer that you can tell when someone is full of shit. And so when it comes to what I talk about, what I'm like with my clients, we talk about standards, we talk about discipline, we talk about upskilling. But, you know, this is where, what are you doing behind the scenes that's authentic to your brand, your message, what you're like with your clients versus what you're like behind closed doors. Like people will see me and I'm known as the quirky, crazy, loud, obnoxious energy bunny.
But people love you.
But that's what I'm like. Because, you meet comedians and they're super funny, but then they're so different when they're not in person. And you're very authentic. You're very,
I'm me all the time.
I don't even know. I was trying to explain how you are. I'm like calm.
People say grounded.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way inside a lot of the times.
Well, maybe, but this is where your authenticity is showing that you are grounded, but your thoughts and what you believe in and what you are feeling. And I think that's where I believe I've had people say to me, they're like, oh, you have fears, you have doubt. I'm like, doesn't everyone? And I think when people say, let's be authentic, but they still want to be seen as the best or the authority or they don't have issues, they don't have problems. I think it was even Mark Carroll, one of our good friends, he said to me, don't be afraid to show your vulnerability from a place of when you're struggling. And I think that's another big thing, like being authentic in, hey, like, are you actually showing up online with actual true elements to what you're achieving in the business, or are you putting on a front? Because everyone does it. Like we've done it, and that's something we share. We talk about how we've had to have some big conversations about what's real, what's not. Why did we do that? Did that come from a place of ego? We're also very big on when we've not noticed we were being inauthentic or we thought we were. And then we come to realize we get some big learnings of like, oh, wow, maybe that was just my ego speaking and wanting to be seen as a certain way. But we talk about that. We don't hide away from that.
So, yeah, we don't. And like, I guess we're sharing more and more about like our internal life as well as, what we do in work. And sort of coming back around to what you said a little bit earlier, do you feel like that means like, are people trying to be raw and authentic as a content style though?
Yes. Okay, yes. And this is the thing, like they say that they are, or they're trying to use it as a style, but then it's kind of like when you talk about values, like you might value your health and yet we're having glasses of red wine. Like we're not preaching we're the most healthiest people, but it'd be like me saying every day I'm someone that meal preps every day. And then I'm using that as content because I know it's going to relate to my audience. But then behind the scenes, I'm eating chocolate.
Eating snakes and chocolate.
Or, if people are saying, be messy, be raw, be polished, be authentic, but then how they act in congruent to that, it's almost like they think it's authentic on what they're portraying. But what are they doing when it comes to, well, if they're messy action takers, are they actually taking back messy action everyday life? Are they happy to walk around the streets with no makeup on? Are they happy to film content and it not be perfect? Do they get freaked out that, they spell checked something wrong? Or do they go, why is this looking like this? I shouldn't have like this. Yeah, things like that. I think it's becoming really interesting how it's the trend of authenticity when really you can tell the people that are actually authentic versus,
and the vulnerability side of things as well. And do you think people are trying to be vulnerable
to get a reaction?
Well, to get a reaction or to manipulate the market so that then they can get the views or they can, make sales or, try and get the prospect or whoever they're trying to attract over the line?
Yeah, I can't speak on what I believe that it's what people want to do. Do I know it for real? Like, do I know that this person particularly is doing it just for the fact that it helps? Actually, no. I know someone who had spoken to me when I was getting my makeup done, and she said to me, I know someone who actually pretends a lot of the time at being vulnerable, and she's like, I just do it for the views.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I didn't know who the person was, but I was getting my makeup done.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do people get away? Do you not have some form of
So what, they get the
integrity?
onions out and get the crying out?
Like they fully, every day they show up and they over dramatize how they're feeling, and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this because I know I'm going to get a reaction. I'm going to get more views.
So fucked.
Look, we did a chest challenge, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really great opportunity for my clients to get it off their chest, to go rogue. But it's not because it's to, use the vulnerability to get a reaction, to get more views, to get more likes, to get more clients. I want my clients to have the confidence to use their voice. And that's And that's the difference between people who are like, be vulnerable, you'll get more clients, or be vulnerable, you'll get more likes. It's like, why don't you shift the reframe of, hey, I just want you to not even think about the likes, the validations, the metrics. I want to build confidence, and I know this is scary, and I'm going to share parts of my stories, parts of my life, because I know this is building a muscle of real, raw honesty, real relatability, putting myself out there, because the return of investment or the return or the ripple effect isn't about making money. It's about, I want to have more influence. Impact. I want to have more impact.
Yeah.
Yes, we want, and this is something we talk about at our events. Yes, we want to make more what?
Impact.
But we want obviously more influence and income, but it's not just about the money.
Yeah.
We do believe in making money.
Money's the, what do they call it? Not the precursor, the result of having that impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when someone gets on a call with me, I'm saying this right now, oh, it's not about the money. Isn't it? It is always about the money, because you make decisions based on something, based on your values of whether this is worth it or not. People don't go ahead with something because of money. So if you're telling me it's not about the money, but yet you want to make more money, but you don't make it about the money, you're a load of shit. It always is about the money. It's what you do with that. And it's also not just about the money. And that's another thing about authenticity. I love it when I see people go, I don't want to just talk about money.
So why not do it for free?
Yeah. I go, it's not just about the money. I want to help people. And then, they're the ones that are like, you better motherfucking pay me.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like I said before, it's like, well, if it's not about the money and you just want to help people, then just
why
go
aren't you
help
helping
people.
people?
Go volunteer.
Yeah.
Go do stuff for free.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because, sorry, I'm jumping in because I'm getting really passionate about this and you can pour me more. I share a story all the time about how I've always wanted to help people. And I know a lot of coaches and business owners who talk on stage or talk online, they're like, I just want to help people. I have always wanted to help people. The problem is, though, when I was growing up, I made it all about me. And I thought helping people was based on showing up and being a certain way, or liked or looked a certain way, having the right, persona. And I've now only recently been so grateful that Nikki's helped me with, working with some organizations for giving back to children. But that's true authenticity. Like, I'm owning the fact that I've said it was about helping people, but I've made mistakes.
Blue Dragon or something as well, right?
Yeah. And we've donated, but I think now it's just like the difference is like you turn from influencer to impact CEO version. And for me now, it's like I own when I've made mistakes. I've owned when I've been, showing up in a certain way, whereas people are too proud to not do that.
Yeah. Or they make shit up to, look authentic and then manipulate the market, as we were saying before. So in retrospect, like for someone who's like listening now, what can they do to show up more authentically or be more vulnerable without having the fear of like am I doing this to manipulate or just to sell? Like,
yeah, now we're opening up a can of worms. Yeah. It's like, fuck, I swear I wasn't trying to be manipulative. I was just trying to be authentic. But yeah, good question. I think it comes back to why you do what you do. I think it's coming back to self, coming back to being honest and having these conversations with, why am I showing up right now? Is it because I know I need to make sales, which is nothing wrong with, being persistent and being consistent and knowing that every single day you get to show up to be of service. But if you're doing it just for that, no, if you're doing it for just the money, then you know that it's coming from a place of scarcity and a lack of not having something. And so there's a difference between I'm here to be authentic and manipulate you from thinking I'm being vulnerable versus I just want to be me. And so I actually did an exercise. Remember Rogue Robin? Oh, you weren't on that call. We've given our clients a few new alter ego names, and we're getting them to go online and start to just, get things off their chest. And I think it's really about giving them that permission to, let's just be able to share things that we've not done before because we've been fearful of what people will say, not because we know it's not true to who we are.
Well, we've been told to squash our opinions since kids. Like, I know for a fact that, my dad always used to tell me, like, oh, you and your 2 cents worth again every time I had an opinion. Like, and that, especially in our generation, like we were taught to be kids that were seen, not heard, right? So anytime that we had an opinion, it was just like, you're meant to be seen, not heard, go back to your room or go, and we were taught not to have an opinion, which is probably why Australia's so damn soft right now, right? Because
we were told
all us kids that, were brought up to not have an opinion now are like, oh, I can't stand up to the government because I'm opening another can of worms now.
Yeah, now it's becoming about being authentic and speaking and being an opinionated. But this is the thing.
Right.
But this is what we're here to do. We're getting it off our chest, like from being authentic to how do you show up as who you are. Like, you want to talk about these things,
I do.
And so you should.
I'm very passionate about it.
But it's not because you're wanting to manipulate people. It's because you're passionate about it.
It pisses me off.
Pisses you off. It's the same with me. And when we went through the Bondi shootings, a lot of people were like, what do I say? How do I express? I go, what if you just want to express about what you're feeling? You don't have to have an outcome to be an inspired leader or to know about politics or to know about, the wars. I said, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to just express what's coming up. That's how you own your voice. There is nothing. My biggest thing is it's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's just how it gets to be. Just the same for you, right?
There's a real fear of judgment though, like that comes up when you're expressing your opinions.
Yes.
Obviously, especially strong opinions like in politics and all that sort of stuff. And I know my opinions are shared with hundreds and maybe millions of others as well. But there's still that like, oh, who in my circle am I going to piss off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's that side of it. It's like, oh, you don't want to
upset someone.
You don't want to upset someone who's like maybe a client or maybe a friend or whatever. So you sort of like keep that opinion a bit more quiet. So how do you deal with that?
I've always said to people about this because, your true friends, your circle of friends, you would never hurt your friends or say something bad about them or, you never want to have an opinion and, and express it to them because you want to hurt them. But just like any relationship, I have things that I share to you that you might not agree with, but I'm sharing it to you because I trust you to know that I have these opinions. The same in your circle of friends, like they should know that you're not there to attack them. And you should never just be agreeing to what your friends agree with, right? There's things that my friends do that I don't agree with, but I love them as they are. And I respect that they have views and opinions based on what they believe in, and it's not that you're attacking them. True friendship and true relationships and true anything gets to be you own who you are. And you're also, this is where it gets really interesting, true ownership of what you express means you give people the opportunity that allows them to have opinions of what they want to also say. But it doesn't mean that they are going to judge you for those opinions you have. And your true friends or true family members will allow you and let you be to have these opinions. Like my brother has very strong opinions about certain things.
He does.
And I love him for him and I'm proud of him for having those opinions. It doesn't
100%.
change the way I feel about him.
Yeah.
I can roll my eyes and go, oh, he's got these opinions, But that's why I love him because we're different.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with it? To be honest, like I've never had to have these conversations with friends about, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. But what I have loved about my circle of friends is I'll ask them for feedback around my content, my business, and I want them to give me honest feedback because I care about what they think because I look up to them, and I think they know I'm also quite rogue. And I actually, if I'm honest, I actually asked Lauren about my podcast, Say It With My Chest photos, because I was actually at one point really nervous about people thinking, that I overly drink and things like that. And she's like, I think it's really great that you're doing a podcast with getting it off your chest. It's so relatable and you love wine. You have times where you're in seasons where you have a bit more and then there's seasons where you don't. It doesn't make you, you shouldn't label yourself as someone that's bad or good. It's as you are. And that was such a big realization
like a
for me.
Or...
It was a relief for me.
Yeah.
What about you in terms of like, wanting to speak up or show up or, be authentic? Do you ever feel like that's been hard for you or has there been anything that's come up for you? Oh, I know.
Do you know?
Yeah.
What?
I actually have...
I love this. Inside information. Here we go.
I'm just reflecting on something I said not too long ago. I said, don't put that up. Remember? And
Yes, I do remember.
yeah, and I'm gonna bring it up because it's
You
getting it
are?
off my chest. Yeah,
Wow.
I reflected on it and I was like, you know what, that's not my place to tell you what to do. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. I've got it in draft still. I can still post it.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. It was just, we're working with a new mentor. We've gone through, a bit of a dip in business. I wouldn't say dip, but it's been more stagnant with our messaging again.
Well, we haven't been running ads for 3
We haven't been
months.
running ads, yeah. And we've paused on it, because we're going back to our true message. And we went through a bit of a...
We went through a bit of a phase where we were trying some different things.
Yeah.
And we realised we actually only realised like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we actually took a step back in the level of our message. So sort of often a little segue here.
yes, but this is good.
Yeah, so we were, obviously our message was always about, being authentic, having a voice, all that sort of stuff, which is at more of a emotional identity level, right?
Yeah.
And after working with another mentor in ads for a year, what started to happen was you need tangible results. And while that is good for like service-based businesses like,
maybe that was his voice, his strategy for him.
No, because he doesn't really. He's actually identity-based as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he's identity-based as well. But he does throw in the tangible bro marketing, or he calls it Chad marketing, right? But we started to come down to that level. And it wasn't until
Do you know why?
Yeah, no, it was just because we were trying to...
I know why.
...move from...
We were over clients that weren't committed.
Yes, we were getting a lot of clients that we were just like, hey, you know what? These clients are causing us more headaches than
the ones
that we were getting. Like, let's try and move back into this. And we thought by speaking into a certain level of marketing that would bring it in. But it didn't. It actually was worse. And it's what I like to call the bro marketing, of like, hey, if you're at 10K, you want to get to 50K, work with us.
But it comes back down to, and this is why I love we're having this conversation here. We're literally getting it off our chest. Like, we made a decision because I don't know if you've...
This is completely off topic.
It is, I know. But again, like, I think this will be a great way to wrap it up too, because I know we've kind of gone on a tangent, which happens with undiagnosed and new diagnosed ADHD. We're really focusing on being authentic on this podcast, talking about when we've not owned our voice, or when I told you, don't post that. But then it's me then stopping you from posting something that you feel really drawn to talk about, and that was my fault. So I want you to post what you did. And we've just spoken about, us going back to what is authentic to us. And I think we wanted to reach a certain type of clientels. And at the end of the day, if we're not getting, let me rephrase this, if we're wanting to have premium clientels and yet our messaging then shifted and it kind of made us dip a little bit, it just comes back to what we love doing, who we love helping and who we love speaking to. And that's where we needed to have those moments of where we realized we were inauthentic to then come into,
yeah, 100%.
So I think we were...
I feel like, at one point their ads weren't really being real authentic to... Like, we weren't not being authentic, but in the language that we use was not the language you would usually use.
True.
Because we, as I said before, like we speak more into it. We always spoke into identity, not into tangible.
Yeah. Which comes back down to, again, sometimes we think we're authentic and sometimes we need to learn the hard way. And maybe this is where, for us to get it off our chest, we had to also get what we had done off our chest to realize what's really important at the end of the day. And that's just being true to who you are and owning who you are and owning your voice and owning all stages of where you're at with work and business. So, honey, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Any final words?
Glass, but just be you.
I don't know why people struggle with that because...
Well, because, like I said earlier in the thing, we've been conditioned, especially our generation. From...
My dad, my
mum,
I talk about it on stage. Yeah. And here's the thing, coming back to what you just said, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And if people judge, Let them.
Peace. Cheers. See you, everyone.
See ya. I remember the first time I spoke on stage. My heart was racing, palms sweaty, voice was shaking. I was terrified. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because deep down I was afraid of being seen. I was afraid of my own power. But here's the truth no one tells you. Speaking isn't about perfection. It's about connection. When you step onto stage, whether it's a room of 10 or 10,000 people aren't just listening to your word. They're feeling your energy. They're watching to see, does this person believe in what they're saying? Does this person believe in themselves? The power to command a room comes from owning your story, not performing a script. That's what amplifies your voice, and that's what creates impact. I spent years shrinking myself, dimming my light, thinking I had to sound like everyone else to be taken seriously. The moment I let go of the performance and I chose to lead with my truth, my voice changed, my business changed, my life changed, and that's what I want for you. Because when you learn to speak with authority, to lead with conviction, to show up as the fullest, boldest version of you, you don't just inform. You transform. Own your message and create the kind of presence that moves people into action, because your voice is your greatest asset. It's time to use it. So if you're ready to stop shrinking, if you're ready to step into the leader you were born to be, join me at Show Up and Speak Live. The mic is waiting, the world is waiting, and so am I.